First, I would like to brief about what is an IoT. Then what can we develop applications? What kind of applications can be with an IoT? IoT layered architecture and RPL. What is an RPL? And what kind of attacks will be in the RPL? And basic some research inputs. I would like to thank to Ashadip Baga and Vijay Madsetti, where I have collected the material from him, and for the MRS and Google, where I have taken some pictures. So Internet of Things, in short we call as IoT. IoT was coined in 1999 by the professor Kevin Ashton. Kevin Ashton is a guy who coined the term IoT. When means in 1999. In 1999 itself, Internet of Things came into the picture. But why now it become a buzzword? Because the data rate and the MEMS, the mobile cost become very cheaper. The cost of the data rate, the cost of the MEMS and the mobile rate become very cheaper, and the size also it reduced. That's why now everywhere Internet of Things become a buzzword, even though the phrase was coined in 1999. So he is the person Kevin Ashton who coined the term IoT. Okay. Now what is an IoT? IoT stands for Internet of Things, which is used to connect everything around us. Everything means that may be a laptop, that may be a chair, that may be a pen, that may be a keychain, bike, vehicle, whatnot. Everything connecting to the internet is called the Internet of Things, with an unique IP address. By providing a unique IP address to thing, we connecting to the internet. That is called as Internet of Things. So how we can able to connect? Now how? With the help of a sensors, microcontrollers and actuators. With the help of these three things, we can able to connect the things to the internet. So what are the sensors? As human being has sensors, we have a sensing capability. So we are putting the things, the sensing capability with the help of the sensors. That may be a seeing sensor like camera, touching sensor, touch sensor, where it's becoming used in the mobile phone, laptop, pad, etc. Pressure sensors. Whether we have many sensors. So sensors is used to take input, actuators is the output, microcontrollers or microprocessors may be a processors. These three things make things to connect to the internet. Now why we need to connect the things to the internet? For now, we have connected only very few things like mobile phone, laptop, desktop. By connecting very few things itself, we are doing wonders as a human beings. If we connect everything, how much wonders we can able to do. That is one of the things. And then we can able to control the stuff remotely, and we can able to control the particular thing remotely. For example, my house may be in Chennai. I may visit to Tirupati temple. I want to monitor my home, whether any intruder is coming or not. Otherwise, I want to switch on and switch off the light in the morning and in the daytime automatically, remotely. So this all kind of stuff can be do with the help of the Internet of Things. In simply, we can say that Internet of Things is physical thing which has a capability of sensing and actuators by putting the microcontroller, sensors and things with internet, all together called as a Internet of Things. Without internet, we can't call that as the Internet of Things. Everything should be in the internet, and we should be able to collect the data. After collecting the data, it should be stored in the cloud. So with the help of the sensors, we will collect the data. The data will be stored in the cloud. In the cloud, we can able to use some analyzed algorithms like machine learning or deep learning, or we can use some AI-based algorithms. With that, we can able to visualize the data in the mobile phone or in the laptop. That is the motto of the Internet of Things. Just connecting the things alone is not a motto of Internet of Things. After connecting the things, we need to collect the data and we need to analyze it out. After analyzing, for the customers or for the owners or for the business people, we need to give some decisions to them. We should take decisions. That is the motto of the Internet of Things. So connecting, collection of data and analyzing. That is the Internet of Things. Now we go for some applications. Internet of Things has applications not only in one domain. It is a multi-domain, multi-discipline. The IoT is not for CSC or not for EC or not for mechanical or not for engineering or not for science. IoT is for every discipline. Science student can use it out, art students can use it out, journalism, why not? Every discipline. IoT is for every discipline. You can able to see on the screen, we have some applications like here. We are using in a mechanical department, in transport, in home, in healthcare, everywhere almost, as a fitness device for the wearables, for the smart person. So like that, our IoT has applications in everywhere. You can see here. So by putting some sensors to that thing and by connecting that thing to the internet, it becomes as an IoT device, IoT thing. Let me say one example. Now we have a chair. Assume this is a chair. This is an ordinary chair. Can this chair convert to the IoT thing? Now I want to put IoT to the chair. Here what is my application? What I am thinking is, now the chair is ordinary one. I didn't use any technology of IoT. So if I use IoT, what kind of stuff we can do? Let us assume. So under this chair, I will put some weight sensor. I'm just putting some weight sensor. The weight sensor will communicate with the microcontroller under this. That may be Arduino Nano, Arduino IDE, Intel Galileo, whatever may be, any microcontroller. I just put that, and to this microcontroller I will connect a fan. So for the existing state, I have used a microcontroller. For this microcontroller, I have connected the weight sensor. And then for the microcontroller, I have connected the fan. So now what is the application of it? Can anyone of you guess? I have used the weight sensor as an input and microcontroller as a processor and the fan as a output. Now what I want to do with this one? If any person sit on the chair, with the help of the weight sensor, it recognizes that some person is sitting on the chair. Automatically the fan will get on. So automation, whenever a person sitting on the chair, weight sensor recognize it out and automatically the sensor will send signal to the microcontroller and microcontroller will automatically send signal to switch on the fan. Then whenever switch on the fan, every data will go to the cloud. By that I can able to know how many hours the particular fan was on and how much power consumed. How many hours the fan was on and how much power was consumed. So based upon the power we use, we can able to charge it out. Then this perfectly becomes an IoT project or an IoT application. Simple thing. By putting the weight sensor, microcontroller, fan and connecting that microcontroller to the cloud, and to that cloud we will connect to the mobile phone or laptop. This is how the ordinary thing can become a smart thing. Ordinary thing can become a smart thing. This is a smart home application. What is a smart means? Anything has a capability of taking input, output and process. That particular thing is called a smart thing. Smart thing means capability of taking input, process it out and sends the output is called smart thing. So this is one of the application of smart home. This is the ordinary home. Ordinary home. We converting that to the smart. How means? By connecting the thing like stopwatch to the home, refrigerator to the internet, television or micro oven to the internet, bed light to the internet. Just by putting some sensors and connecting that to the internet becomes the smart home automation. This is one of the applications. So like that, we have many applications here. Even you can able to track the airplane, the vehicle, car, bike, human being, pets, dog. Just by putting some sensor to the dog, GPS sensor, we can able to track it out where the particular pet animal is there. So like that, we can able to track any device and we can able to connect any things to the internet. Can anyone of you guess what is happening on the screen? I don't know whether are you following or not. Anyone of you can replay, please.
Student, you can unmute yourself and give the replay.
Can you guess what's happening on the screen? So if you observe here means This is the environment. Light. This is the mobile phone. So here we can able to see light, sun or moon. Here we can able to see on or off. Here also we can able to see graph rising and down, up and down. This is the observation we are seeing here. So these three are interlinked. Whenever there is a sun, we have a light. Automatically the light getting off, and in the mobile phone also the graph is decreasing. Whenever moon is coming, it's a daytime. Human being require a light. So automatic light is getting on, and then graph also increasing. So this is the like smart light, which connect to the, you can switch on and switch off in the mobile phone, or whenever day or night we can able to, whenever we can able to see, you can able to check it out. This is called as automatic light, or we can check manually, or you can able to do automatic smart light. So what is the sensor here we need to use? Any guess? What kind of sensor you require here? We need to sense the light. So we can able to use the intensity of light. So we will use the light dependent resistor, LDR. It measures the intensity of light. So we can use LDR sensor like that. Whatever we depend the light, we can use it out. So like this we can able to connect everything to the internet. You can able to check it out. Railways, airways, roadways, whatever, waterways, factories, industries. When we everything on the world can be connected to the internet. Simple. IoT means you should remember three things: sensors, microcontrollers, actuators, and we will use the cloud. That's it. Anything can become a IoT by putting sensors, microcontrollers, actuators, and taking the data to the cloud to analyze it out. Let me say some real-time applications which we have patented like this. This is one of the patent. Early detection of the train. In some villages there won't be a railway gate. Some accidents may occur. For this, with the IoT, what we can able to do is we can predict the train early, and automatically the gate can be on and off. How means we are using the vibration sensor. We will put the vibration sensor under the railway track. It will predict before 10 kilometers itself. It says that train is coming on this way. It will send the alarms on the roadside, etc. This is one of the applications. So this is the microcontroller we are using, Node MCU. And the data will go to the cloud, and that will come to the microcontroller. This is how we can able to build some real-time application also. And one of the other patent will be this is the alcoholic sensor. It will detect if any person consume more alcohol, means it will give the alert system to the home, or to the persons who carry them automatically. It will give 3 alerts. First one is you have consumed enough alcohol. Please go to stop drinking so that you can reach home safely. Second one is you have consumed more alcohol. You require some support. Third one is you have consumed out of. Please go and approach hospital. So 90% of human beings are drinking alcohol irrespective of age and gender as per the world survey. That's why with the help of an IoT, we can put some application in the mobile phone. So user, if you want to use, you can use it out. If you don't want to use, you can stop it out. This is also one of the things. This is the other one, overload of the vehicle. Overload. Suppose in auto, 3 members should be travel. In a car, 4 members, depending upon the vehicle. But due to some overloads, many accidents are occurring. So to detect that one, we are putting some weight sensor under the vehicle. So based upon that, we are sensing the weight of the particular weight. If it is the weight is more than threshold value, means automatically it will go to the message, to the alert message to the transport authority or to the corresponding persons. So that's how we can able to do some real-time applications also with the help of an IoT. As I said before, these are all the components required to do the IoT application. If you want to develop any IoT product or anything, first let me say in home I may have fan, light, refrigerator, etc. We will connect all the appliances in the home to the router which will be in our home. We will connect that to the router, or we can call as a access point. So from this we will connect to the internet. That may be wide area network. So everything onto the internet, then we take that to the cloud. That may be fog or a fog means local processing, cloud means global processing. As for now we have a cloud technology which is not suitable for the IoT, because IoT collecting huge number of data. That's why many companies and many researchers have suggested that better have a one local computing which is called as edge computing or fog. Let me say one example. We may have University 1, University 2, University 3. Now for whole 3 universities we having only one cloud. But in one university we connecting students, faculty, everything. Data will be more. So we have a local processing. We have a University 1, one cloud, one fog 1. University 2, one fog. University 3, one fog. And we will process University 1 data in the fog 1 locally, and we take required data globally to the cloud. Similarly, this is how the edge computing will play a role. So now for every university we may have one cloud, that may be one local processing. That's called as fog or edge computing. That's how we require the local processing. And then we will use the users with the help of the mobile phones or smartphones. So this is the components and this is the sequence or architecture to build any IoT application or to do any IoT project or research anything else. Before going to this, if you have any questions, clarifications up to now. I have said what is an IoT and what applications can be built, and I have said some real-time applications also. Up to now, we have any questions, clarifications regarding this? Anyone can ask. Now let me say some real-time patents. This was filed in 2012. Once patent was filed, this was, I have given authorities to the MNC company Harmonizer. They are building this one. They are distributing to the customers. So here we have the product is based on some IoT, machine learning, deep learning, etc. We have different products like Luxi is one of the products. Bluetooth version alone, and Luxi 1 Wi-Fi version, Luxi 2 Bluetooth and Wi-Fi version. These three products we have in the smart home automation. As I said, the smart light. So Bluetooth, whenever we cut the data, we can able to process locally or globally or cloud or server third party. That's the thing. For example, how many lights switch on, how many lights thing. We can able to collect all the data locally, local server with the help of Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and even we can able to take the global to the internet, and we can able to use some cloud server also third party. And we will use some AI, machine learning and deep learning algorithm, and we will process that data, whatever we collecting, and we will give some good decisions to the customers in the industry or in the home, whatever may be. This is how the product will be. This is the app. We can able to install this one, smart home automation or smart thing. This is the home, this is the industry. In home we may have like single room or 1 BHK, 2 BHK, 3 BHK or villa. Based upon that, in single room we may have 5 load switch. We can on and we can off. We can dim and dip the light. If in 1 BHK we may have bed like this, we may use this one. Like this we can go for any bedroom, any office or anything else, controlling the light, fan and AC, refrigerator depending upon our requirement. We can switch on and switch off, or we can dim and dip the light, we can dim and dip the fan with the mobile phone itself. We no need to use the regulator. We can control the speed with the help of mobile phone. Even we can dim and dip the light also. This is already in the market. And one more other product to say you that it's interdisciplinary. We have one more thing called CANI. This is the intelligent panel. The intelligent panel has a problems. What are the problems means? It may have like temperature inside the thing, heat trap, this is smoke, vibration, overload. So to overcome this solution, this problem, we need to go for a solution called CANI, what we call as intelligent panel. So what we can able to do means by putting some sensors inside the electric panel. We call inside this one. We can put everything here. We can able to know the in which particular place the vibration is happening, if any lizards or insects are moving, wherever the heat is getting, we can able to extract, and that data will go to the cloud. From the cloud, mobile phone. For that we can able to use the thing. We will measure the thing, monitor it out, analyze, control with the help of the IoT and machine learning technology. This is the product in the electrical field. This is how the mobile vac looks like. Where will be the temperature, smoke, vibration in feeder 1, feeder 2, feeder 3. So this is a map, we can able to get it out. In which place the temperature will be there, see there. So this is are the real-time products which have patented and already developed the prototype, already granted and went to the market by the MNC company Harmonizer. So IoT has lot of scope, lot of applications are pending. Only less than 5% IoT was there in India, even in abroad also. So for if your students want to become entrepreneurs, if you want to develop any projects, new things, very large scope is there in terms of an IoT by combining with machine learning, deep learning and IoT. So to get idea where we can use an IoT and what kind of application we can do, I have shown you the real-time application and I have shown you where the products went to the market also. So this is the brief thing about the IoT and IoT application. For now, if you have any applications, please let me know. I have covered what is an IoT and what kind of applications you can able to build in the Internet of Things. So any questions, please? Now we go to the third part, RPL. What is an RPL? Before going to the RPL, you need to know that IoT applications will build in a layered architecture like the three things: edge side, server side, user side. In edge side, we can able to do the edge nodes, communication and edge computing. Similarly, data abstraction, accumulation. These all things will be done with the help of the protocols. In the physical layer, we may use IEEE 802.4, MAC layer, adoption, network, CoAP and MQTT. These are the layers, layered protocols. So in RPL will be in which layer means in adaptation layer there is a 6LoWPAN, IPv6, low powered wireless personal area network. This is the difference between the things where we can able to see it out. This is the difference between the traditional TCP/IP protocol and Internet of Things protocol. Whereas in the TCP/IP we will use the Ethernet or Wi-Fi, but here we will use IEEE 802.15.4e, low power wireless personal network. In the place of here we will use 6LoWPAN, UDP and CoAP or MQTT. So RPL will come where means here. This is a routing protocol where we can able to route the protocols from one place to source to destination. So 6LoWPAN is a wireless personal area network. IPv6 stands for low power wireless personal area network, which is the combination of two things. One is IPv6 and other one is 802.15.4. That may be Bluetooth. We have many versions, Zigbee, LoRa. It's a combination of both IPv6 and the IEEE standard. So combination of both together we call as IPv6 low power wireless personal area network. So what we do with the help of this means we can able to connect the things in the internet. Generally in Internet of Things, things may be less size. So we can't able to put much number of protocols in it. We will use very less protocols. That's why it leads to more security issues. And that's why we require some low powered wireless protocols. I mean which is configured particularly for the IoT, for less configured protocols. We should use it out. One of the protocols, the less configured one is 6LoWPAN. So how the routing will done here means with the help of the routing protocol called RPL. RPL stands for routing protocol from low power and lossy network. We may have a network like this. This may be a source. This may be a destination. Source may send message hi. How the message will reach to the destination means with the help of a protocol called RPL. RPL will route the packets from source to destination. In where means in the IPv6 low powered wireless personal network protocol. That thing we should be able to know very clearly. In the adaptation layer, in the network layer. So once we build the network like this, we need to transform the packets from source to destination. How we will transform the packets? With the help of RPL. So similarly, what kind of strategy will follow RPL means DODAG. RPL creates a destination oriented directed acyclic graph which is used to forward the packets from source to destination. It may forward the packets towards the root or down to children. In which manner means DODAG, destination oriented directed acyclic graph. So as it has a limited support, we have the attacks. So So we will see what kind of attack it may be faced. So if you go in detail about RPL means, the RPL will work based upon the, as I said, DUDAC, and we require some control messages. What are the control messages we require means? We require control messages like DIO, DUDAC information object, and DUDAC advertisement object, DAO, and DUDAC advertisement object acknowledgement, and DUDAC information solicitation. This is the messages the RPL will use to send a message from source to destination. This is the DUDAC. We may have a network like this. So in the network, any one node want to send the message from source to destination means, automatically with the help of the message called DUDAC, it will broadcast the message DUDAC information object, DIO. First DIO, what it will do? It will broadcast the message to the network. I want to send the message. Anyone would like to join to me to form the DUDAC. So whenever DIO send the message to it, with DIO, other nodes will give you the acknowledgement like this. Yes, I am ready to join it out. Then the root node will able to form the what is the rank of particular node, whether it is nearest distance or far distance between the source and destination, based upon the data, based upon the acknowledgement, DIO acknowledgement. The data source will give that, yes, you can able to join the route. Like that, from source to destination, DUDAC will form in the network. Once the DUDAC will form, the data will be transformed from the source to destination. So here the RPL is responsible to send the message from source to destination. The RPL will do with the help of a DUDAC. DUDAC consists of the different messages like DIO, SEK, DIS. So with the help of this, we can able to send the message from source to destination. So this is the Gartner hype cycle. Always when I give lecture, I used to put this one, Gartner hype cycle. Camera. So what the Gartner hype cycle means? Gartner is a research guy. Gartner is a research guy who will predict what will be after 10 years, what technology will be after 20 years and after 30 years. So with the help of this one, we can able to predict it out. After 10 years, what will be the technology, where we need to go it out. Like that, the Gartner will always predict it out. So with the help of this, we can able to take some decisions. What will be the next 10 years, the technology, what we do it out, like that. This is the Gartner hype cycle. With this itself, if you have a plan to do any research in any particular area, or if you want to start any company, so with this Gartner, we can able to predict it out. So now I am doing my BTech. So after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, what will be the technology? Where I need to go? These all things can be known with the help of the Gartner hype cycle. So I hope RPL is clear for you. Now we can go for the last one, RPL attacks. So up to now we have any questions, clarifications, please. Can you say, is my voice is audible to you? Is my voice is audible to you? I don't know, it's one way. Whether you are reaching what I am trying to say. I'm just keep on saying and moving. I don't know whether you are reaching.
Student, dear student, you can unmute yourself and give the response to the first.
Are you able to following? Am I fast or am I slow? You can give any inputs to me, whether I can go this way. The intention of mine is to give output, flow of each and everything. Just the introductory part. What is an IoT, what kind of applications can be built, and how the data will transform from source to destination. That can be done with the help of the RPL protocol. So the RPL protocol will do with the help of a DODAG. DODAG can be done with the help of a messages. That may be a DAO or DAOIC and DIS. So now we are in a way that while transforming the message from source to destination, what kind of attacks will occur? If you use a RPL protocol to transform the message from source to destination in an IoT network, what kind of attacks will occur? So this is in different layers. In physical layer, jamming or tampering attack may occur. In data link layer, killer bee, GTS attack, backup, ACK attack. Those who want to do research or any project, you can able to take any one attack or two attacks, or you can able to design a good algorithm for that. And by using the CUJA simulator, or by using the real-time testbed, you can do the research. On network layer, we may have an attack like killer bee, black hole, sinkhole is attacked in the network layer. In transport layer, maybe a UDP flooding, TCP. In application, we may have this kind of attacks. So for researchers, what research I have done means, I have taken the 6LoWPAN RPL. In RPL, I have taken the attacks like black hole attack, wormhole attack, selective forward attack. This is for that attack. I have given some preventive and detection measures. I have implemented the algorithms in CUJA simulator, and I have done the testbed also. I have designed the attack node, and for that attack node I have proposed my algorithm to mitigate that attack, to prevent and to detect. So similarly, you also can do a BTech project or MTech project or research in this attack, any kind of attack. Particularly, even this is the different types. This is the layer-wise attacks. This is based upon the type. Based upon the topology, we may have mesh topology or bus topology, star topology. So based upon the topology, we may have this kind of attack like sub-optimization, isolation. You may go for black hole or DAO, inconsistency, wormhole, sinkhole, worst parent. So very scope is there. Even due to the traffic also, eavesdropping, sniffing, mix-up operation. And with the resources like direct attack, indirect attack, flooding, loading table overload. So these are the various attacks. Now let me see some few attacks. This is the rank attack. What is a rank now? As I said before, now 1 to 10 is a network. It's a network. Assume this is a network. For example, I want to send data from source to destination. Assume 2 may be a source, 11 may be a destination. 2 may be a source, 11 may be a destination. So automatically 2 will initiate to form a doodag like this. Doodag means we should not have any cycle. This is called a doodag. So to form a doodag, we require a metric of we call as objective function. In objective function, major requirement is the rank. What is the rank means? The rank is a distance between one node to the root node. For example, this is called the root node. What is the distance between the node 1 to root node? That is called a rank. The distance between 2 node to root node, that is called a rank. So what is a rank attack means? Rank means the distance between X node to route, Y node to route, Z node to route, A node to route. So based upon the rank only, the root node will form the doodag. So what is a rank attack means? The X node will say the wrong rank. The distance may be of 5 kilometers, but the rank attack node will say I have only 1 kilometer of distance instead of 5. At that time, delay will occur from source to destination because the actual distance is 5 kilometers, but it's saying that 1 kilometer. My rank is only 1 kilometer. Please join me in the doodag. I will help you to send the data from source to destination. That is the DO acknowledgement. Whenever the source want to form a route from source to destination, it will form a route with the help of the rank. The rank will say wrong rank. So we need to identify that kind of nodes. In my example, 5 is the attack node. 5 is saying that I am very nearest to the root. Please join me. But actually the 5 is very far. So the delay will occur from source to destination to transform the data. So how you can mitigate this attack? This is one resource gap. You can able to follow it out. So rank attack is nothing but giving the wrong rank. What is a rank means? Distance between the root node to exact node. So in my research, how I mitigated that attack means I have used the distance metric. I have calculated the manual distance from route to the node with the help of the distance algorithm. So whenever the rank given by the node and the distance is same, then it is perfect. Whenever the rank given by the node and the distance is different means that is treated as a attack node. That's how we can able to mitigate the rank attack. This is one of the major attack and very important attack. So is it understood for you what is rank attack?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So you rank. Next, second attack is wormhole attack. Wormhole attack means it is called as tunneling. It forms the tunnel. Tunnel means a separate link from one node to other node. For example, doodag may form here. So from here, this is assume this may be a source sending data to the root and some other destinations may have a DODAG. Like this, my data may be transformed. So in between source to destination, this may be the attack node. Whatever the message going throughout will transform to other place. That is by forming the tunnel. That is called as wormhole attack. Here two nodes will be the form the tunnel. So here the four node will transforming the message, whatever transforming through it, through to the 6. Otherwise 6 are transforming whole message to the 4. There will not be any route between the 4 to 6, but the message is transforming between 4 and 6 by forming the tunnel. That kind of attack is called wormhole attack. So how you can mitigate this attack is a research gap. How you can identify the data transferring is occur between the 4 and 6, but there will not be any connection between 4 and 6 as per the RPL. As per the DODAG, there won't be any connection, but router has formed the intruder, third party has formed the tunnel between that and transferring the message from one place other place. So what kind of mitigation I have taken in my research is, I have taken the neighbor of the each and every node. So the neighbors for 3 is 5 and 6. The neighbor for 6 is, it should be 9, 3, that's it. But after forming the tunnel, the neighbor will be the 4. But as per my DODAG, the neighbors are only 9 and 3, but 4 is coming. In addition, that we can able to mitigate it out attack. Similarly, for 2, the neighbor nodes are 5, 4 and 1. For 4, the neighbor nodes are 7 and 2 and 5. But I am getting 6 also as a neighbor node. It says that the 4 and 6 are having some issue, some attack. That's how we call as a wormhole attack. Like this, we can able to find some countermeasures for the attack. First, you need to understand the behavior of the attack. Based upon the behavior of the attack, you need to find the solution for that attack. Whether that may be a preventive measure or detective measure. Based upon your way, you can able to do the research. This is one of the attack called wormhole attack. One of the attack is selective forwarding attack. So here what the particular node will do means, whatever the message is transforming through it, it will selectively forward to other route. Remaining all packets will be dropped here. So if you are sending the message, I am good, in IAM good, it may selectively forward G or M. Remaining all packets may be dropped. That kind of attack is called selective forwarding attack. It will selectively forward the packets. Among 1 to 100 packets, it may select packet 2 or packet 3. Remaining all packets may drop. So the message will not go from source to destination. At that time, we need to identify where the attacks are there. You may be wait for 1 hour or 2 hours, but the message will not be reached. Only among 1 to 100 packets, 2 packets only reach out. So some attack may be there even in your DODAG. So you need to identify where the attack is. The attack may be a wormhole attack or sinkhole attack or black hole or grey hole or selective forwarding attack. How you can mitigate? So that is the attack here. So here one of the mitigation technique may be a, for each and every node we are finding the packet drop ratio, packet forwarding ratio. How many packets are coming to that node? Receiving packets and sending packets. How much? So like that we can able to follow it out. Can anyone of you say what is the black hole attack? I mean rank attack? Are you able to following what I am trying to say? Around 156 members is there, including me. Anyone of you say what is rank attack or selective forwarding attack? Okay, I will stop with this attack. So black hole attack. What the black hole will do means, if this is the black hole means, it will drop all the packets. Whatever the packets going in front of, through that node, each and every packet will be dropped. It will not send the packets. See assume this is a source, this is a destination means, the packets may go in this way, or the packets may go in some other way like this. That can be done how means with the help of the DODAG. DODAG also consists of DODAG instance. This is one instance, this is one instance, like that we have different instance. So whenever the packets are going from 11 to 10, 10 to 7, 7 to 4, the 4 need to send to 2. For example, 10 packets was sent by 11, 10 packets received and sent 10, received and sent 10. 4 is sending on 2 packets. What about remaining 8? Remaining 8 packets were dropped. That is called as dropping of the packets is called black hole attack. Dropping of the packets is called black hole attack. So these are the few attacks. I hope I have covered what is an IoT, what is an IoT application, layered architecture in different layers, what is an RPL attacks, and some indigenous inputs and summary. Up to now we have any clarifications, any doubts, you can please ask me. I just briefed about what is an IoT and different applications, and what is an 6-LoWPAN and RPL, and what is an RPL attack. So up to now we have any questions? You can reach me at Vikram Nirugatti. I don't know today, my pen is not good. At gmail.com. Vikram Nirugatti at gmail.com.